Sticking with Tesla, last story on Tesla. Here we have a tweet. Elon Musk promised Robotaxi by 2020. Here's where it's at. So go ahead and play the clip.
Sound?
Sound on. Sound on, ladies and gentlemen. So driving down the road. What is that, a Model...
Wait, hold on.
Model 3?
Yeah.
Model 3 or Y? Oh, baby. Yeah, go back to that part.
I just turned it on right when it's...
Right here. So he's just in autopilot.
Right.
FSD.
Here.
What's the Tesla going to do here? Bam. Oh, yeah. Not a good
You
feeling.
heard that? The Tesla just hit those with two wheels. Wow. Oh yeah. I hope I'm not.
Yeah. The guy's reaction is everybody's reaction.
Tesla gonna do here.
Okay, so it goes to make the turn. Now he's still obviously upset.
I think
Bit of a wonky turn, and then it's freaking out. It's like I'm going to go crash into the.
I don't know. What's happened with the Tesla?
What has happened with the
He had
Tesla?
to take control
Yeah.
right before the Tesla crashes into a dump truck.
Here.
So anyway, you can go back to the
thing that I
beginning because
got.
I think people would be curious how
So
this
here's the damage.
actually happened. If you go back to the initial curb impact, you can see that those cars are kind of going into that new lane. It juts out, and the car just, I guess, well, it doesn't notice the extent of that jut out. And listen, this is a lot about language. This is amazing technology, what's going on here. For it to work at all, it's so complex out here with pedestrians and other cars and lanes and just the variance in different circumstances that are going on around the world at any given time in any given city. But the problem, I think, is the terminology. You see how this individual posted this clip says Elon promised Robotaxi. Like, that sounds like you're not going to have to be concerned at all. It's actually going to drive itself. No problem, no damage. Like, it's weird to say it, but in this case, he hits that concrete. That's one thing. But if you hit something else, could be a lot worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you start using words like robotaxi, and I think for some people you start using words like autopilot. I think for some people you start using words like full self-driving. It's going to mean different things to different people.
Mm-hmm.
And some are going to take it with a grain, and they're going to say, look, I get that I have to be really aware, and I need to be ready to go and make alterations live. And I'm not talking about highway driving. I'm talking about in the city driving, for the record. And then there's other people that are going to be completely hands-off, and they're going to assume that what they're getting is this other thing. And as exciting as it is, I think it's actually, unfortunately, going to be kind of long before it's true robotaxi status without a major alteration in the environment. Unless you're going to have new types of lines on roads and
Infrastructure.
new
How these...
standards for widths and markers that the car can read around
and talk to each other.
You know how, and that's why when you try to picture it at a global scale in every city in the world, all the minor, I had a jet ski, a Sea-Doo the other day. Not the other day, but like whatever, a couple weeks ago. Have you ever been out on the water, Will? So the water's a big open space, no lanes. Doesn't mean that there's not risk factors. It's just that it's a far simpler environment as long as you have enough depth. However, you will have markers out there.
And water's water. Roads are different.
Potholes and
everywhere.
But you will have markers. So there'll be a marker if it gets shallow and if there's a sandbar, let's say, for example.
Yeah.
Go around it. Don't expect to bring your boat over top this marker. Steer clear of this marker. Okay, well, that's a simple one to understand. It's this big orange marker. On the road, you can imagine how many Tesla drivers have to hit this jut out in this piece of concrete before a marker is created, maybe a digital marker or something like that. Maybe if these things can get smart enough as far as auto-reporting an impact or even understanding an impact like that. Like, I don't think at this point the car has any idea what took place, really. But it's going to have to be some sort of real-time mapping of these obstructions, and it's going to have to be dynamic and changing all the time as the road conditions are changing all the time. Either that or it's tunnels or some alternate type of lane.
Yeah, something that's more controlled.
Heavily maintained.
Smaller parameters.
Like private highways, like toll-based roads, which...
That's just maintained just for these vehicles. Yeah.
It's all really interesting to see how it's going to play out. But yeah, there are plenty of people that are not all that happy with the current situation and the way that it's pitched or described. Myself, I still think the technology is amazing, regardless of this one-off. And when I'm using these type of features, I'm very aware of the strengths and the weaknesses of the tech as it is right now in 2022. And I take that into account with the steering wheel and such.
Yeah.